Alright, hello. Welcome to my 3D level. This is a mechanically driven level. My two mechanics are stealth and hitting and switches and opening doors in a specific order in order to progress. So beyond just hitting switches, you have to associate colors with order and hit switches in a certain order in order to open doors. Um, So basic controls are E to interact with switches and left control to crouch. You can jump if you feel like it, but jumping doesn't really do anything. I didn't design anything around the player's ability to jump. But immediately upon entering the space, the player is confronted with this long hallway with a blinking red door with a blinking red switch next to it. Hopefully, the immediate association is that by pressing this button, this door will open, and if you look to the upper left underneath everyone's favorite red text, we'll see that it says red doors in this room are open. So whenever you hit a switch, text is printed to the screen that tells you what happened. Um, and another thing to note is doors have an afterglow, so even when the door is destroyed, this red glow remains, so that if a player ever has to backtrack, which they will have to do, um, they'll remember that there used to be a red door here. But now we get into the second room, and already, without even going through it, we can see another red switch ahead of us. So hopefully the player is already thinking, okay, where is this red door? Where is this red door that the switch goes to, and how do I get to this switch? Because there's a pane of glass in between two pillars in front of this red switch. And here we're also introduced to our first enemy, and apparently I'm going to trigger the checkpoint system and the respawn system. I was caught by the enemy, so I spawned back at the beginning because I don't have another checkpoint. But as you can see in front of our friend here, he's going to walk back up and down this corridor, and he's got that little flashlight effect in front of him to sort of give the player, like if they're hiding here, some indication of when he's coming around the corner. I mean, they could also just turn their camera, but it felt more atmospheric to do it that way. But moving through the space, we'll move up here, and we'll see a blue door right there. Now, hopefully, the player is able to make the association from their previous experience with the red door that, okay, I saw a red door that was activated by a red switch, so this blue door is probably activated by a blue switch, and hopefully they would then set out to find it. And by standing up and sort of peeking over these boxes, we can see in the corner back there a blue glow. So hopefully that is where a player's chosen first destination would be to go, is that back corner. Just a side note about the lighting setup that I have. I was going for, and I got caught by his simulate hearing sphere, so that you can't just follow behind him and get too close and hug him. But as I was saying about the lighting, I was going for sort of a sci-fi space, like interior spaceship sort of feel with my level theme, and I thought that this sort of very repeated and bright fluorescent light setup sort of lent itself to sort of a Star Wars-esque, like Death Star corridor style lighting setup. And yep, here's the blue switch back here that the player saw using the blue glow, and now it says blue doors in this room are open. And they already know where the blue door is, so we're just gonna avoid our friend here while we wait behind this pillar. I just like crouching, there's no reason to crouch back here, but I feel stealthier like this. sort of sneak up on him. Hopefully I don't get too close though. Sort of follow him, not too close. Hide behind this until he goes back. We'll see that some of the blocks in this room are perfectly height adjusted for crouching, but not standing, so if I was standing there, probably would have been seen. And then we come in here, we hit our red switch, and we already know where the red door is because we saw it when we moved over there. It's over there. And we'll just wait for our friend one more time to pass us. And move on to the second area. And now we're presented with a different color of button. So we already see the classic red door, red button. But when we hit this, we see the text checkpoint appear in our upper left. So this is now where the player will spawn if they fail beyond this area. Red doors are open. Let's continue. Player will most likely just run through here, maybe see this enemy, maybe not, but I'll demonstrate the checkpoint. There we go. I was caught. I was moved back to this hallway. There's our friend. He's turned around. We can proceed. Through that window, you'll see our other friend on the other side of this hallway. This hallway is a similar layout to the last one, where when we come in here, we'll see immediately to our right the red button hidden behind another blue door with some more glass walls. And this room is mirrored this side to the other. And that was sort of what I was hoping with the window in the middle of the wall, was that the player could maybe look through the other side and sort of plan their attack, maybe see where this guy's coming from so they don't accidentally walk around the corner at the exact same time, which could be a cheap way to kill the player, but not necessarily an effective way. So right here, if you look on the other side of that box right above my head, you can see the blue glow of the blue button. So we'll run over here and we'll hit this button. We already see the red door right there from hitting this. So we already know everything we need to know about this room. So we'll just run back over here. I get caught by this guy. Yeah. Hit the switch. And then we'll run back. A lot of making use of the same space, where it's not just super quick speed running through everything. It can be done at a decent pace. You just have to be calculated in your movements, because if I just try to run through the door now, I'll get caught. So I know I have to wait for this guy to at least get here so that I can move up to this block and wait him out right here. So at this point, the player would probably assume that there's going to be another checkpoint hallway right after this, but there's no checkpoint in here. So the only option is to keep going. See a red door and a blue door. This is starting to get weird. And now we have a green door. So my thought process with this canal style of hallway was that the player would see that there's red doors associated with red switches, blue doors associated with blue switches, and now there is a third color, a green door, associated with the green switch. And in here is our checkpoint button. So with this knowledge, hopefully, they will assume that they're going to need this for something. So the player will walk through here, and pretty much as soon as they enter this room, oh, there's an enemy. Don't see me. Okay, he doesn't see me. There's a blue door right here. So we already know that there's a blue door, and that from our past experience, and you can sort of see the red glow through the cracks, that there's probably a red switch behind this. So now we just need to find the blue switch. So we'll look around here. There's 2 enemies that walk around this big area. There's lots of cover, so you have lots of places to explore, lots of places to hide. Once we get to here, though, I'll hide here so that I can explain this. Once we get to about this point in the room on either side, because again, this is mirrored because it's supposed to be like an industrially constructed spaceship. Um, we have a ramp leading to a second level. So I hope that my immediate reaction would be to want to explore up there. They could come around here, not get too close to this guy, see if there's another blue door. If you've seen the text and read the text carefully, every time you hit a button, it says red doors in this room or blue doors in this room are open. So hopefully the player is able to understand that by hitting a blue switch, all blue doors will be opened, and so for all the colors. But coming in here, where's our friend? There's our friend. So they may or may not get caught by these enemies because they're not aware that they're here, but hopefully the flashlights give enough indication. Standing in the middle is a safe spot, I believe. But this is just another area for them to explore. So they'll come over here. We see the green door here. So we know there's probably a blue switch behind that door. But now where's the green switch? A little bit of exploring will show us that it's hidden in this corridor, this nice and dark corridor. It says green doors in this room are open. So now we can go and see what's up. I've been caught. Unlucky. But now we know green doors are open. So we'll just really quickly run back upstairs and see if I can explain something without getting spotted. Back in that corner, there's 2 blue lights at the end of the hallway. And if we look, okay, the classic noise that everyone makes when they're trying to not get caught. This hallway has 2 red lights. This was to alleviate some of the directional confusion that players were getting when they're coming up here, trying to figure out which way is which, because this room actually branches off into 2 different possible paths to get to the ending, and that's where the semi-linearity comes into play, was this room. So the player will be able to make a choice once they find the red switch as to which path they want to take. And I'll explain more about that as we get closer to it. But now this green door is open, and lo and behold, here's our blue switch, nice and high up on the wall. Okay, probably just have to wait for this guy to come back, so we'll just hide in here. Actually, let's hide here just to be safe. That way we can wall cheat him. Have to go fast though. Okay, so we hit the blue switch. So now we know that the blue doors downstairs are open. So now the task is to just get back down there. Wait for him to go there. Past him. Back downstairs. Here is our other friends. Okay, he's right there. So I'm just going to go ahead and utilize the second blue door with this second red switch. So now we know red doors are open. But now we have to make a choice as to which of them we want to explore first. And there are different things associated with each door. So let's try the blue area first. So I wanted to sort of, I guess, explore both preferences of play, whereas there's sort of a puzzle component of this game that involves finding the switches and remembering where other doors were. And there's also the stealth avoidance mechanic, right? So I wanted to branch the paths off where one path focused more on the finding of switches and the other path focused more on the stealth avoidance. So this blue path, if I remember correctly, is the more puzzle mechanic where the searching out the switches mechanic, and this brings us to a maze where it's very scarcely lit, to sort of give the player a little bit of direction as to where openings are. So I only put lights where there are openings, and there's some dead ends around, but it's not it's not that difficult to not get lost in, but it's definitely possible that the players can get turned around. So already we found the green door, but now we already know that we need to find the green switch. So we're gonna explore a little bit more. What's around this corner? Here's the red door. Go this way. There's a few different ways to go here and here. So let's see what's over here. No, nothing. It's just a dead end. And there's the blue door. So now all we need to do is find the green switch. Did I go this way already? No, I didn't. And there's our familiar green glow. There's our green switch. Now we need to remember which way we took to get back to the green door. And this might look a little easier because I'm the one who made the maze, but hopefully players might take a step back and have a little bit of difficulty retracing their steps in finding these switches. So now we've hit the blue switch. We just need to remember where that blue door is. I believe it's this way. Yes. There's our red switch. And now the red door is open. There was no checkpoint needed in this area because there are no enemies. It's purely finding the switches and being able to retrace your steps, because that's one of the main mechanics of the game. And we're gonna go through this red door to this peculiar looking structure. Now, the curious player is tempted to walk up to said structure and try to interact with it, and we are transported to this amazingly bright and fluorescent area where it is considered that we have beaten the game. But now, what about that other path?